Hey there guys! In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to build another toy. We are going to be building this stacked cup foraging toy, which is excellent for parrots, but for just about any small animal as well. This is going to be a super simple toy to build. You can pretty much build this out of toy parts that you can get from the dollar store. I have put a video together showing you all about that as well. So if that's something you guys are interested in seeing, you want to make sure to stick around, because that's going to be coming up right after this. Hey there guys, this is Jack over at Hi Redbird, where I am tirelessly working to find new ways to make the keeping of exotic animals and pets more exciting, more affordable, and ultimately more enjoyable. And in today's video, I wanted to show you guys how to build this awesome stacked cup foraging toy. Now this is a pretty easy toy to put together. If you had just the base materials, you could put this together start to finish in under 5 minutes. The materials primarily came from the dollar store as well, so that's an excellent thing to put together if you are having to be budget conscious when it comes to your birds. But it's also a really cool toy as well. I know a lot of us with birds, or who know people with birds, are always trying to struggle this time of year to come up with new fun things that we can give our animals. Christmas presents are an obvious choice for a lot of people, so this would make a great option if you have friends with birds as well. So I definitely encourage you guys to try that out. Though, if you want some other options on things you can do for Christmas presents for people with birds, you will notice the shirt that I am wearing right now. Sorry I'm late. I have birds. If you have a bird lover in your life, it might be something they would enjoy. And you'll have information for that in my Threadless store, which is going to be in the description section down below. There's things like t-shirts, tote bags, coffee mugs, a wide variety of things, and it might be the perfect Christmas present for the bird lover in your life. So I definitely encourage you guys to check that out if you haven't already, but without further ado, let's jump into how we're going to put this toy together. Alright guys, this toy is relatively straightforward to put together. You're just going to need a couple of things. First, you're going to need a base. I am going to be starting with a stainless steel skewer made for parrots. These are one of the most incredible things to add to your parrot toy making arsenal. If you don't already have some of these, I cannot recommend them enough. The good thing is that you can use this once your bird has destroyed all the pieces on it, clean it off. You can wipe them clean with soap and water. If anything gets really stuck on or anything, they can go in the dishwasher as well. They're absolutely incredible. You can use this as a base for toys for pretty much the rest of the time that you have your parrot. They are absolutely incredible, so I cannot recommend these enough. But if you don't have one, or if all of your kebabs are currently in use, your stainless steel skewers are currently in use, you can also use a piece of bird-safe rope or twine. Now we are going to need some paper mouthwash cups. We are going to need some shredded paper. We are going to need some index cards. And those are the main things that you are going to need for this toy. But of course, if you want to make it a foraging toy, you are going to need to include some kind of food item that your animal can forage for. Here I have some Nutriberries. You can use pellets from their regular diet. All of these are going to be wonderful options. Also, based on the size of your skewer, since I am using a skewer, that means that I cannot make it customized to the height of the cups, which are going to be different depending on brand. If you were using a piece of rope, obviously you could tie your knot to make it the exact length that you need. But since I don't know how many cups I'll be able to fit without them being a little bit loose, I may need to include something like some little wooden beads. I have a handful of these. I got these from my friend Robin over at the Leather Elves. She makes absolutely wonderful wooden toy parts. You could also just use something like a bamboo finger trap. Basically, you're just looking for something that could fill a little bit more space. You could, of course, also just take up that extra space at the bottom with even more index cards. But let me go ahead and show you how we are going to get started with this. You're also going to need a few tools. You are going to need a hole punch. You are going to need a pair of scissors, and you are going to need something just to punch a hole in your paper mouthwash cups. I'll tell you right now, it does not have to be overly fancy. I typically have an awl that I can use to just punch through, make a nice small hole. I couldn't find it for this video. But I did have a extra seam ripper. So we're just going to go ahead, punch a hole all the way through, and I will be able to then string those onto that kebab. Now, to get started with your index cards, you're going to want to go ahead, cut them in half. You don't necessarily have to, but if you cut them in half, you will get twice as many cards out of what you are using. Now, since I am using just a normal hole punch, you'll notice there's only so far I can go in. It's not going to be centered. And that is fine. But what you want to remember is that each of those punches will be on this kebab. So, it would not completely cover a cup if you had just one piece of card. But if you do multiple and you turn them so that then they are flaring out different directions, you'll get much better coverage that way. So all you're going to do is just go through, punch holes in your index cards. And this is one of the ways that you can start to play around with theming out your toys as well, because by just changing the color of what you have, you could make toys for Christmas. If you did a red and green theme, you could make toys for Valentine's Day with a red, pink, and white theme. Now here I have some yellow index cards. Through the magic of video, I also have some blue index cards that are ready to go. So all I'm going to do is take the top off of my skewer, or rather the bottom. The ball is going to be the bottom of my skewer. The ring with the quick link is going to be the top. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is just grab a couple of index cards, and you can always spin them around, position them once you get them into place. But I'm just going to go ahead and get a few index cards and just thread them up onto that skewer. And like I said, you can fan them out as needed. Then we're going to do one of our cups. And you can see, depending on the way it falls, depending on the way the cups are, it does leave small openings. You can flare them to completely cover that up. But there is one, and we are just going to repeat that process multiple times. So we're going to do a few index cards. And as you can see, I am alternating colors because I think it looks better. But obviously, this is a toy for you and your bird, so make it however you think you should. And then I'm just going to put another cup into place. So that's why I said the tool that you use to make the holes for your cups isn't that important. You just want to make sure it's not going to make too large a hole. Realistically, with a stainless steel skewer, you could even just use the skewer itself to punch holes, but there is a chance that it would tear the cup. It might open it up far more than you want. It's sort of the same premise as pre-drilling when you put in screws. It just helps you to have a little bit more control over the situation. So we're going to do, this is our fourth cup. And then we're going to go ahead and do our fifth cup. All right, now you guys will notice that it is most of the way full. I do have a little bit of space right here, but not quite enough for another set of cups and index cards. Now, if I was giving this to a bird for the first time, I could go ahead, just secure it there, and it would be a lot looser. It'd be a lot easier to move all the pieces. And if you want to start your bird off that way, that is a great way to start. But if I go through and add just a couple of items, like these really nice wooden beads, I can just go ahead and fill up that remaining space. So then, once I put the ball on the end of it, there we go. You can see that that now fills up all of that space, and that is reasonably tight. Now that is going to be a much easier way to be able to fill this. So all I'm going to do is take some shredded paper and just fill each and every one of these cups, and then I'll just fan the index cards around it to close that up. Now this would be a fun, destructible toy on its own. You've given your bird the cups, you've given them the index cards, you've given them the shredded paper. All of these are going to be a different tactile sensation, so it's going to be fairly enriching on its own. But if we want to make this a true foraging toy, we want to encourage your bird to look for a little bit of food in this as well. Remember, in the wild, your bird spends the majority of its time that it is awake looking for food. So they are very, very used to that. So now that I have this all filled with paper, I can go ahead and take some kind of treat. You could put one in every single cup if you wanted to, but I like to make my animals work a little bit harder. So I am only going to put that in 2 of them. So the bird will find them in certain ones. Maybe it will think, oh, there's a chance there could be a Nutriberry or some other treat in all of those, but it's only in certain ones. But there you have a really easy stacked cup foraging toy. It's a puzzle feeder toy. I've shown you guys the materials that you need for this. You can pretty much get all of the materials for this from the dollar store, and it's an absolutely excellent toy that will take up quite a bit of time for your bird. All right, guys, and that really is all there is to it. It's a super easy, super fast toy that you can put together with parts that you get from the dollar store. So, I mean, it's easy, it's fast, it's cheap. I don't know what else anyone could want out of a toy. So I definitely encourage you guys to check this out. Now, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I am going to be putting out even more toy making videos for the holiday season. Because again, I know a lot of people are trying to come up with Christmas presents for either their birds or for the birds of their friends, birds that can pretty much be considered family. So I want to thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. I need to say thank you to my Patreon patrons for helping to make these videos possible. You can find out more by visiting Hi Red Bird on Patreon or clicking the link in the description section down below if you would like more information. Thanks!